Oh, there we go. We are live
Live.
en vivo. Welcome to episode 33 of Hbomb and Friends. I'm Harold the Hbomb Price, and joining me, Tyler Treese.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. And where would folks know you from?
Well, you can find my work on mustachegamers.com. I will also be covering E3 this year over at MarioPartyLegacy.com. So look for some
Are you actually
updates
going
throughout
to be
E3.
there?
Yes, going to LA and covering from the show floor. So gonna be
Oh, we
fun.
may have to have you back on the show the week after and talk about it.
Would love it. Should be a blast going my first time. So.
Yeah. I've never been.
Well, I mean, I know somebody who actually did this, but apparently they sell attendee passes for a very cheap $799. So so at that price, you can't afford not to go, right?
Okay, so Tyler, I mean, you've been catching up with the show, so you know what's about to happen here.
Oh, I
What's
think I do.
up? We're just essentially
Oh,
what you've been
geez.
playing, watching, doing, whatever.
Well, I've been most people use GameFly to catch up on like good games and like stuff they've missed out on. I use
You mean
GameFly
people still
to
use GameFly?
I do. I don't know. I might be the last person, but I use it to exclusively get like bad games sent to me that I would never waste money on. So I have Fighter Within for the Xbox One in my possession right now, and I've been playing that. It's pretty awful. Um, like the gameplay consists of you standing in front of your Kinect and waving your hands like a crazy person about 80 times, just flailing around, and that's how you win the game. It's pretty intense. It's a very great experience, but it's very tiring. I finally realized how out of shape I am by playing Fighter Within because I played 15 minutes of that and I was like, man, I feel really tired. I really have let myself go. So it's made me kind of realize that. So at the very least, it's helped me be a healthier person in the future because that is one tiring game after like 20 minutes.
Yeah. And Angry Birds Star Wars? Is that another one of those bad games you got on GameFly?
Yes, that is also a GameFly game that they sent me. I want to try to play like more PS4 games since I did invest in both of the current gen systems. And most of the games are not available from GameFly. They're like low availability. But I saw Birds Star Wars was like highly available, so I figured, hey, what the hell? Might as well add it onto the queue. And of course, it got sent to me, and now I'm stuck playing Angry Birds Star Wars, which like it's not a bad game, but I don't know who would buy that for like $50 or $60. But it's kind of fun. I like seeing like the Angry Bird versions of the Star Wars characters with like Han Solo and Luke Skywalker. That's pretty cute. Seeing the bird versions of them. And then one other thing I've been playing is Borderlands 2 on the Vita. Iron Galaxy actually did a
Is that another bad game you got on GameFly?
no. This is I didn't buy it myself. I actually won it off of Twitter, but
Oh, cool.
I've actually it's pretty good. Iron Galaxy did a great job with the port, surprisingly,
Yeah,
with Dave
yeah.
Lang running it.
Oh, I met Dave Lang at PAX East. Really nice guy.
You should have hit him in the over the head with a glass bottle.
Uh, leave that to John Drake.
But yeah, they seem to do a really
I
good
take it you
job.
watched the Royal Rumble, or
Oh yeah, I
were
loved
you
it.
there at PAX East?
I was not there. I was watching from their Twitch channel, but it was pretty intense.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
And but yeah, I've been really enjoying Borderlands 2. They seem to do a really good job with it. What's up with you, Harold?
Well, recorded cross-border gaming last night after like a month off. Um, Still playing Record Run and Plants vs Zombies 2. Yep.
How's a record run?
Record Run is good, except I think I've hit a wall. Um, Essentially, I've hit a bunch of songs that I can't seem to 5-star, and yet I'm at a point where I really need to grind in order to get to unlock more songs, or I could just pay for it. That's how they get ya.
Yeah. Sounds like Plants vs. Zombies too.
Yeah, that's the same way. That's how they get you.
Yeah, it is, definitely.
Okay, also still playing Picross E4, which it's Picross. I like it. It's more the same, but it's what I like.
Yeah, Picross is a great game. My first introduction was Mario's Picross when they released it on the eShop, and I played through that, and then I was like, man, I need more Picross, and then I was so pumped when the Picross E games came out.
Yeah, I think my first Picross game was Picross DS, although I did eventually get Mario's Picross when it did come to Virtual Console.
Yeah, that's a really like good value on the 3DS eShop. Like you get I think I played that for like 20 hours at least, and it's like $5. So if you don't have it already, highly recommended.
Yeah. And last night I got an email from the fine folks at Nintendo giving me a code for a special exclusive download for certain platinum members of Club Nintendo. Tomodachi Life move-in version.
What's that?
Well, have you heard about Tomodachi Life?
Oh yes, I've read extensively about that very very strange game and all the controversy that comes with it.
Yeah. Well, essentially, this is kind of a glorified demo.
Yeah.
Which I wonder if there's going to be an actual full release of this, and the lucky few that got this just got it ahead of everybody else, or if this is what there is until the game actually comes out. But essentially, you get to bring in up to 3 Miis. My own Mii, as well as the Mii's friends of the show, Cheapy D, Cheap Ass Gamer, and my friend Sarah Tomasi, who's been on the show before, and Cross Border Gaming. So played around, decorating room, changed clothes. Apparently the Cheapy D Mii likes the panda suit, but doesn't care so much for the grass skirt.
So, will your progress in that in the demo version or whatever it is, will it like continue into the main game?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, very cool.
But yeah, you don't get to do too much. You get, as I said, 3 Miis. You get to solve 5 Mii problems. Like, someone's hungry, you feed them. If someone's sick, you give them cold meds. Yeah, I had to give GBD cold meds.
But have you tried to woo Samus Aran yet? Have you tried to date her?
She hasn't shown up.
Aw.
I mean, again, it's very basic. I mean, only a few areas have unlocked. I mean, I've only got the 3 Miis. There's the beach area. There's the food shop, which still has a very limited menu.
Would you say it's like The Sims?
It's probably more like The Sims than it is Animal Crossing. Probably
Yeah,
somewhere
this,
between The Sims and Tamagotchi, maybe.
yeah, see, despite like reading a lot about the game, I'm still not 100% sure like how it plays. So,
Yeah. I think it would do Nintendo really well to release this demo to everybody.
yeah, like when they released that direct, it made me very interested in the game, but it also like gave me I also like it raised more questions than it answered, and I had no clue how it was gonna play because it just seemed so wild.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, this just secures that I am going to get that game when it comes out.
Yeah, it looks very interesting. I'll probably pick it up too.
Very fun, and even with the limited mode of the demo, interesting thing I did. It's not something I actually played yet, but I pre-ordered. Well, of course, PSN has been doing things where you can pre-order games digitally. This is a bit of a first. You can pre-order DLC. This is the upgrade to Ultra Street Fighter 4. So this is the $15 upgrade if you already own Arcade Edition.
Have they announced if that is coming to current gen systems like the Xbox One or PS4, or is it just
You mean new gen? No, just the outgoing gen.
That really surprises me.
Yeah. Personally, I prefer the two terms new gen and outgoing as opposed to current and old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been trying to push current gen. I'm trying to put a.
Well, I think current gen, I'm still in the mindset 360, PS3.
Yeah, despite me trying to push current gen as Xbox One and PS4, I love how everybody just forgets about the Wii U, like it's off to the side. But
I have a Wii U. I don't have the other two. I have a Wii U.
I have a Wii U.
Then again, I also own an Ouya, so what do I know?
Harold, you have the one true next gen system in the Ouya, right? I mean, think about it. You can play Towerfall and Towerfall. All the great Ouya exclusives.
I'm just adding names to the titles here. Feel free to add that it's towards the bottom of the outline.
All
right. Okay. But yeah, not only can you pre-order Ultra Street Fighter 4, the upgrade, you can also download it in advance, and it preloads. So apparently, I heard they were doing that for PS4. Apparently, it's coming to PS3 as well.
That's very cool because that reminds me of cool. Like Steam.
Yeah, that's what they're going for. Do you have any idea if Microsoft's doing that on Hbomb?
I have not seen it. I have not pre-ordered any.
And that is why Sony is better than Microsoft.
Yeah, I mean it's really cool because I remember doing that with some Steam games and getting games preloaded. That way, like when midnight hits, you can just start playing the game instead of downloading it. So it's really a helpful thing to have.
Yeah. Okay, so that's it. So let's move on to bring your own topic. And do you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
Well, I mean, I guess I can go first if you want me to. So basically, recently we've seen a lot of ports coming to the Vita. We've seen Borderlands 2 just come out. We have some collections of PS2 games, such as God of War, and the Sly Cooper collection comes out very soon. And while we're getting all these ports, I want to ask you, do you feel like this is enough to satisfy you as a Vita owner, or are you interested in any of these ports? Do you want kind of like downgraded console games on the go, or would you rather have tailor-made experiences?
Call me when Rock Band Blitz comes to Vita.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet. I would like that.
Not
I
happy.
feel like we need games that are like built for on the go, because one of the problems I've had with these ports, like Final Fantasy X came out recently, and while a fantastic game, it's not really suitable for like on the go, since you have to reach a save point. You can't just save wherever. Same with God of War, and that just kind of bums me out when I'm playing a portable, because sometimes I just want to play for a 5-minute chunk. At least the sleep function helps a lot with this, but it still doesn't quite feel like a portable game when you're playing these ports.
Yeah. You know what I like?
What do you
Not
like,
quite,
Harold?
it's not quite like what you're talking about, but I like cross-buy.
Yes, awesome feature. I love cross-buy as well.
Yeah, I mean, thanks to cross-buy, I got Zen Pinball on my Vita. I've got Dive Kick on my Vita. I've got Spelunky on my Vita.
Yeah, and like one thing that kind of is like cross-buy in a sense, with the PS4 you can do remote play on the Vita, so it kind of makes these ports for the Vita kind of I feel like they'll feel outdated and not have a place soon, because I can play pretty much any PS4 game I own on my Vita. Granted, I have to be at my house, so I can't just take it anywhere. But I can play like a very good version of the game on my Vita without having to buy a separate version. And like you'll see games like Call of Duty Ghosts actually did a great job with this, where they like add emblems to the touch on the Vita, where like so it has a different control scheme tailored towards the Vita, instead of just trying to pretend it's a DualShock 4. So like you see these great done remote play versions, and it's kind of like, well, I can play Assassin's Creed 4 despite there not being a Vita version on my Vita, and that's pretty cool. And so I feel like they can't really charge for these $40 versions of PS3 games much longer on the Vita, like with like Borderlands 2, because I feel like remote play is kind of killing that.
Yeah, but I think cross-buy has been a good movement. It's good for some, and the fact that cross-buy has made the move to PS4. That
Yeah, like I have Fez for all three systems, which is awesome.
hated Fez.
Really?
It
Why, Harold?
was just frustrating.
It is frustrating. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Uh, Phil
I
Fish can be
I
pretty cruel.
I didn't. Then again, I didn't hate Fez as much as I hated Skyrim.
I've never played any of the Elder Scrolls games. I feel like I'm like
Consider
some
yourself
outcast.
lucky. I had a really bad experience the first time I tried to play Skyrim.
Like with glitches, or what happened?
Just trying to get going, I kept getting lost and going around in circles. And that is why I hate Skyrim.
Oh, gee. I have a terrible sense of direction in games, too, so I feel like that would be my experience.
Yeah.
Because every time I get into a hallway and there's like a left and a right, I always take like whichever way will get me to a dead end. I always take a left if I need to go right.
I prefer my RPGs Japanese.
I can see that.
Yeah.
So what's your topic, Harold?
Oh, my topic is just a continuation of what we talked about last week, as well as last night on cross-border gaming, and I'll probably be talking about it again on Thursday's cross-border gaming. Amplitude. It's chugging along. Yesterday was a really big day for it, and today, today has been a pretty good day. They are currently, as I'm looking right now, 565, 715. So they are about 210,000 away.
Do you think they'll make it, Harold?
You know what? Coming into this week, I was thinking it wasn't going to happen. I'm thinking it might.
Yeah, there's been a lot of support here.
Yeah, I mean, in all this, I actually upped my pledge. I mean, I had already pledged more than I have ever done in a single Kickstarter before, and then I doubled it. I upgraded to the Song Senate.
How much is that, Harold?
500.
Oh my God, Harold! Jeez.
I know.
Oh man.
I really want this game to be made.
I guess so. I can only think of like one game I would like pledge that much for on a Kickstarter, and that'd probably be Zero Escape 3 if that ever comes to fruition.
Yeah.
But other than that,
Whereas me, I mean, I'm like that with harmonics. I mean,
yeah, they make great games. It's been
Yeah.
nice kind of seeing the gaming community come together and
yeah. I mean,
support
Insomniac actually pledged one of the 7,500 Your Song in the Game tiers.
Yeah, did you see the video they put out, the music video Insomniac put out for their, I think it was their
Song that they were
15th
gonna
or
do.
20th anniversary.
No, I did not see it.
It's a pretty fun song. I think that's what they would put in it. It's pretty good. Worth checking out.
But yeah, both $10,000 benefactor packages are gone. One of the two, Harmonix Throws You a Party, is gone, and 3 of the 10 Your Song in the Games have gone, as well as 2 of the dinners with Alex Rogopoulos and Arana Gozi, and of course the dinner with Tim Schafer that went pretty early on.
Now, if this doesn't get funded, do you think that kind of signals not maybe an end overall, but do you see like Kickstarter as a platform for getting games off the ground? Do you feel like that's
I think if this fails from someone as big as Harmonix, who's technically an indie, I would probably call them a mega indie, or
yeah, they kind of feel like
upper tier indie. Yeah.
Like a mid-major school.
And you know what? They're kind of doing right now what Double Fine has been doing for a while. And not making nearly as many AAA titles, but doing a lot of smaller projects, like what Double Fine did with the likes of Costume Quest and Stacking and Iron Brigade, The Cave, etc. Middle Manager of Justice. And Harmonix, although they're still making a big AAA project in Fantasia, they got Chroma. They recently released Record Run. They have at least one more game in the pipeline that they haven't talked about yet. And Amplitude.
They're trying to get it. We've seen some like kind of like I don't know if I'd call it a high-profile failure, but we saw Renegade Kid unsuccessful.
Yeah, Renegade Kid was unsuccessful.
Yeah, so I'm kind of wondering if like Kickstarter's kind of dying down in popularity to getting projects.
At least for gaming.
And there's kind of like a negative outcry now when people see like Kickstarter programs, because once this got announced first, the Harmonix Kickstarter, I saw a lot of people going, why would a company as successful as Harmonix need our money? Which is kind of a dumb thing to say, because games cost a lot of money to make. So like,
yeah, and this is one that, although critically acclaimed, it didn't sell well. Frequency and Amplitude. I mean, I mentioned this last week, but I mean, Alex Rogopoulos in the PAX East keynote said essentially Sony actually focus tested Amplitude in the game. They showed them showed the focus group, the folks in the focus group, pictures and stuff, and it had the lowest intent to buy of any game Sony's done in a focus group. Then they
Oh
let them
wow.
play it, and it had the highest intent to buy out of any focus group Sony had done. So it's that kind of game. You got to see it. You got to experience it. I mean, and that's probably one of the biggest stumbling blocks of this game, this Kickstarter. That and the fact that it's Sony exclusive,
Yeah, I was gonna
which you
say like
can't
maybe.
really help that because Sony owns the IP.
Yeah, I feel like the lack of platforms might also be hurting it because
Yeah, that is
most
kind of
Kickstarter
a
games, yeah,
yeah,
they,
that's kind of an unavoidable thing. But yeah, a lot of Kickstarter games have had a PC option.
which makes sense because if you're viewing Kickstarter, it's probably on your computer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope they can pull it off. I really do. There's
Yeah.
what, like 3 days left,
I
so
mean, this is
hopefully.
probably, I believe, the first console-only Kickstarter I've supported, I believe.
Yeah, I haven't kickstarted too many games. I did put like a $25 pledge towards Amplitude, but like
Like,
only other games I've really done was the oh geez,
Double Fine,
Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight
oh,
I
Shovel
did,
Knight, yeah, I backed Shovel Knight.
and there's
Broken
a couple
Age,
games I did
Super
that did
Broken
not
Age.
get funded. Yeah, Broken Age was one too, but other than
Yeah,
that, I haven't really supported many Kickstarters.
yeah.
It's just kind of hard for me to get sold on a game before we have like a lot
Yeah.
of information
And to tell
available.
you the truth, as far as games I've kickstarted, only 3.5 of them have come out,
Yeah, like I
with the
really like.
half being Broken Age.
Yeah, like I
Super
really like
or
Renegade
Sports
Kid.
Friends, Super Drake Tracker 2000, which isn't really a game anyway. Essentially, that was probably more of a practical joke than anything. But I kickstarted that. And actually it was DLC, but the Terminator 2 table for Pinball Arcade.
That's awesome. Yeah, like Renegade Kid, I really enjoyed Mutant Muds, but like I
Yeah.
kind of feel like a lot of their other games have been pretty
Yeah,
mediocre, to
what
say
was
the
this one
least.
they were trying to kickstart? Was that more of an FPS kind of thing?
Yeah, and like I did not
And
think
I
the
don't care
new
for
game
FPSs.
was great. I didn't think Moon was that great. I don't really trust them to handle a first-person shooter,
Now, yeah,
sadly.
if it were a platformer, I would have totally been on it. I
Yeah,
mean,
I feel
I'm
like
totally looking forward to Awesome Knots. Mutant Muds was good. But yeah, I mean,
yeah, I
speaking
feel like
of
that's the
platformers,
genre
I
they
did
shine on.
kickstart Shantae, the Way Forward Shantae Kickstarter.
I gotta say, I do not trust Way Forward as much as other people do. Like, I feel like they've made some awful games. Like the regular show game, I thought was terrible.
I didn't
I
play
got
the regular show game. I did
but it's
play
Adventure Time.
the first Adventure Time game for 3DS. The
That one
Hey
has
Ice
potential.
King, why'd you steal my garbage? And my problem with that was not so much the gameplay; it's just that I never seen Adventure Time. I mean, I like the
Oh,
fact that they did the whole homage to the Adventure of Link, which the underappreciated Zelda.
you should watch Adventure Time. It's a pretty great show.
I don't know; it
Um,
just seems dumb to me.
it is dumb. That's what makes it good. It's dumb in like the best of ways. It's kind of like Fast and Furious. Well, it's not that dumb, but it's pretty great.
Hey, so where can John Anderson send his hate mail?
At Tyler Treese on Twitter.
But yeah, so I'm really hopeful, and they actually announced some artists. 565, 985 now. But yeah, Anamanaguchi, um, Freeze Pop, of course. You couldn't really do Freeze Pop without you couldn't really do the Amplitude without Freeze Pop or Casson Crooker. Although you may not recognize the name, but if you've played Frequency and Amplitude, you've heard his music. It's been in the games. It's under names like the Symbion Project and DJ HMX and a couple other names. But yeah, if it's a song you don't know in the Frequency and Amplitude soundtracks, it's probably Casson. And he was also part of Freeze Pop for a while. I don't think he is anymore. As well as C418 did music for Minecraft. Danny Baranowski did music for Super Meat Boy and Cannonball. Jim Guthrie of Super Brothers Sword and Sorcery.
Guthrie's great.
And George and Jonathan.
Man, I really hope this gets funded. Man.
Yeah. So yeah, they've got some. You sold me at Freeze Pop.
Those are always some of my favorite songs to play in like Rock Band. The Freeze Pop songs are always a lot of fun.
I own all the Freeze Pop on Rock Band, including the two songs that they put up on Rock Band Network.
Yeah, great stuff they put out.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's Amplitude. And I really hope this gets funded. This is running through 5 o'clock Eastern on Friday, and Harmonix is actually doing a 6-hour quote-unquote telethon on Twitch tomorrow, starting at noon Eastern. Twitch.tv/harmonixmusic. I accidentally said on Hbomb Friends, on Cross Border Gaming yesterday that it was today, when in actuality it's tomorrow. So things I screwed up. I might just have to do the echo in there when I'm editing. Okay, so I think we've pretty much beat this topic to death. So time for housekeeping. Hbombandfriends .libsyn.com, hbomb@hbombandfriends.com, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, all /hbombandfriends. We're on iTunes and Stitcher. Twitters, I am USF Hbomb, the show is Hbomb and Friends, and Tyler is at Tyler Treese.
Yeah, I tried to be like anonymous on the internet by just using my full name.
Yeah, that's some hacker alias you got there. Okay, friend and podcast shoutouts: Irrational Passions, Game Enthuse, Fantastic Neighborhood, Cross Border Gaming, Podcast 64, which we may be recording a show this week.
Aw, sweet. I love Nintendad and Matt.
Yeah, Chris and Matt are awesome. Retro Fungin Podcast, I believe they just released episode 2. DMGIce.com, Retro Nick Radio. Oh, Podcast 64 right there. And would you like to plug your stuff?
Yeah, my podcast is Mustache Gamers. That's mustachegamers.com. I believe episode 44 comes out this Sunday, so check it out. I'm also part of a anime podcast called Anime Bullshit. We're recording episode 3 actually later tonight, and you can all find that on the mustachegamers.com. So check that out. Fun site and a lot of content there to listen to, and we do some video stuff, so all kinds of stuff.
Okay. So some of our upcoming shows, we got E3 coming up in a couple weeks. We still want to do our favorite games podcast. Frank still wants us to do an SNES podcast. I want to do a podcast about the Big Bang Theory. Mainly because it can be so, the show can be so divisive.
I think it's a terrible show.
I love it.
Harold. I will never forget somebody explaining like the difference between the Big Bang Theory and Arrested Development. They said Arrested Development is a smart comedy about dumb people, while the Big Bang Theory is a dumb comedy about smart people. And that's kind of how I feel about it.
Well, I have Asperger's, and I kind of identify with Sheldon, especially after the season finale.
Yeah, I haven't watched the show in a while. I mainly only watched a few episodes of like the first season, so I mean, for all I know, it's probably gotten better. So
I'll
have to give it a chance again.
Fleshed out the cast, added some more female characters, so it's more than the four nerds and the pretty girl.
I saw a couple. This is probably a month or two back. He was going to make a decision between PS4 and Xbox One. What did he end up choosing?
Insanity. I don't know. Personally, I think that's a no-brainer. PS4 all the way.
Yeah, as an owner of both, I don't know if I would recommend either right now. I don't feel like either are worth the investment unless you're a very much an enthusiast like myself. I am myself. But if I had to recommend one, I would go with the PS4. I feel like it's set more for the future than the Xbox One is right now.
And of course, games that are available on both platforms appear to be running better on the PS4.
Yeah, definitely it will have better third-party the versions, so that's a plus side.
Yeah, plus between Cross-Buy and PlayStation Plus, I already own about a dozen games.
Yeah, they've been giving away some great games. You know,
and plus with some more on the way, of course, PlayStation Plus game just about every month, as well as I believe the upcoming PS4 versions of Dive Kick and Spelunky are going to be cross-buy.
I think you have to buy Dive Kick separately, but I know Spelunky is cross-buy.
Oh, I heard that Dive Kick was going to be cross-buy.
I could be wrong, but I hope it is. I hope I don't have to pay any more for it.
But as well as Spry Fox's upcoming game, which was probably my game of PAX East, Road Not Taken. That's going to be Vita and PS4. Really looking forward to that one. And of course, Amplitude if it gets funded.
Fingers crossed. Let's hope it hits it.
Yeah. So again, thank you, Tyler.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Harold. It was my pleasure. Thank you very much.
Okay. And thank you for listening or watching. We had one viewer at one point, so everything is fine.
We're stars, Harold.
Titles. This is where we pick the titles, and I got a script at the bottom of the page, which is still the stuff from last week's episode. But the titles we've come up with, people still use Gamefly? That's how they get you? Ouya, the one true next-gen system.
I like that.
Then again, I own an Ouya, and I prefer my RPGs Japanese.
That was a pretty good line too. I think it's between either one of the Ouya ones, or I prefer my.
I think I'm gonna have to go with Ouya, the one true next gen system.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I need a good H-bomb, and I do two titles. One of them in the form of H-bomb and because it's H-bomb and Friends. Um,
Um,
H-bomb and more Amplitude hype.
yeah, there we go.
Okay. And we say the title scripts there at the bottom of the page, and I edit it into the front of the show. So you want to be lines 1 and 3. You want to be line 2.
Uh, what do you want me to say, Harold?
You know, I'll let you be 2. I'll do 1 and 3.
Okay.
Okay. You're listening to H Bomb and Friends, episode 33,
H-bomb and more amplitude hype.
or Ouya, the one true next gen system.
There you go. That'll sound nice after you pretty it up in post production.